Good morning, everyone. This is the news for Monday, April 28th. More than 200,000 were in attendance at Pope Francis's funeral on Saturday in the Vatican. Thousands lined the streets between St. Peter's Square and the Basilica of Santa Maria Maggiore, where he was laid to rest. His tomb is now visible for pilgrims and mourners. More than 200,000 pilgrims also packed into St. Peter's Square yesterday for the Jubilee of Teenagers, amidst the second day marked for mourning for Pope Francis. As the cardinals who elect the next pontiff continue to meet and gather in Rome, speculation grows over what the legacy of Pope Francis will look like. EWTN News Vatican correspondent Colin Flynn spoke to News Nation about the Holy Father's attempts to expand the role of female leadership in the Church.
He separated leadership and ordination, and people would confuse the two. So while it is absolutely true, he broke ground in putting more women in positions of leadership within the Church. I remember interviewing Barbara Yatta, who was the first woman to be head of the Vatican Museums. But when asked directly, will a young woman who's looking at the priesthood, who maybe someday would like to be ordained, he cut across the interviewer and said, no, it will never happen. It's not the sacrament.
The conclave is expected to begin in the next few weeks. On CBS News Face the Nation yesterday, Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov echoed U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio's claims that the Trump administration has made the effort to learn what Russia's goals are, unlike the Biden administration. Lavrov said Russia is pursuing its own national interests, but that it doesn't mean they can't come to an agreement that ends the fighting. On NBC News' Meet the Press, Secretary of State Marco Rubio said the U.S. may decide this week whether it will continue to be involved in the peace process. President Trump and Ukraine's President Zelensky met in St. Peter's Basilica in Rome for a bilateral meeting on Saturday. Former New York GOP Congressman George Santos has learned his fate from a judge. News Nation's Natasha Zuvez has that story.
On Friday, the former U.S. representative sobbed in federal court as he received an over 7-year prison term. Santos was expelled from Congress after pleading guilty to identity theft and wire fraud. While he apologized to the court, the judge not convinced, throwing the book at him.
He must report to prison on July 26th. And some good news this morning. The Philippines have become the first country in the world to consecrate themselves to Jesus through the Divine Mercy. The Permanent Council of the Catholic Bishops' Conference there made it part of the Jubilee celebrations. Cardinal Pablo Virgilio David, president of the conference, said the consecration is a collective response of faith and hope amidst the challenges the world is facing today. I'm Matthew Handley. Now back to Morning Offering.